USA. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your crowds are rising, hearts are climbing, green flag waving, no more hiding. Feel the fire, hit the gas. Another week, another chance, 'cause we race like there's no tomorrow. Speed and pride, we never borrow. Side by side till the sparks fly back. You want the glory, earn your track. From the open laps to the victory lane, we chase the thunder, outrun the rain. Strap in tight, no turning back. See you on the track. Maximum velocity, racing league. Do you have what it takes to run against the best? Do you have what it takes to run against the best?
Well, Music City calls our name. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, wherever it is you're watching from. Welcome in to Motormouth Broadcasting and welcome into the Maximum Velocity Racing League for the CNC Home Designs Truck Series, round 12 of season 5 here this evening as we're out in Nashville Motor Speedway. And as we'll strum our way along this evening's race, we're getting down to the nitty and gritty of the regular season. The chase is among us in the next few weeks, and as April has just begun for us as well, we prepare ourselves what is bound to be a fast-paced, chaotic piece of action tonight here in Nashville. Hamish Monroe here with you alongside Jim Cunningham as always, and Jim, it's always a fun time when we get to come to Nashville. As I said, it's high pace, it's high drama normally as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of those dreaded big ones tonight that could bring out the pace car quite a few times. But it's always exciting when we get to come to Nashville. But how are you this evening, Sarah? And are you prepped and ready for the show that's about to come our way?
I am, actually. It's good to be here. Yeah, I love Nashville, man, a lot. I mean, I like everything about Nashville. I like the Speedway here. I like the fairgrounds, which we talked about. We were talking about pre-race a little bit. And and I like Nashville just in general as a city. It's the home of country music, of course, in the United States, and it's just it's a cool Southern vibe kind of town. It's but this place, this track, it's a different kind of circuit, man. The concrete surface here is rare. There's only a few of these, in the oval racing world. All concrete speedways like this. It's hellacious on tires, especially when temperatures get up, which I believe tonight, we'll double check that shortly, but I believe they are going to be upwards of around 100 degrees or so tonight, track temperature. So, I think this place, like you said, it could cause chaos. This is one of those kind of tracks where they can spread out and run wide, but also it can cause chaos as well. So we shall see.
Of course, here in Nashville, capital of Tennessee, really, Jim. It is the capital city, alongside the likes of Memphis and Knoxville as well. But, it's always a great time whenever we get to come here. It offers up fantastic racing. A lot of pack racing can come from this as well. But as we've seen over the last few weeks, a small error or a small mistake can cause a massive calamity. Similarly to last week's race, when we were, of course, racing out at Charlotte Motor Speedway as well for the Wildish 150. The differences, I would say, is obviously Charlotte's a lot more kind of super speedway-esque than what Nashville is. This is still classified as a super speedway, though, so it's still going to give us those familiar flavors that we've found throughout this season at these sorts of tracks, i.e. Daytona, Echo Park, even Vegas as well. And it's just super exciting whenever we get to come here. I see Nashville on a calendar and I think to myself, you know what, that's going to be a really good race. I'm super excited. And tonight's going to be no different as well. Now, to talk through some of what we're going to see tonight, obviously. 113 laps total distance this evening, Jim. 34 is the stage break tonight as well. 80% fuel, as always. 3 sets of tyres available too. There's a heap of EOLs coming our way tonight, Jim, off of last week's race.
I saw that.
As well. And we'll quickly run through them. The number 1 of Smith, number 9 of Kirk, number 10 of Stewart, number 12 of Schoenbachler, number 18 of Greneau, number 28 of Voiles, number 30 of Tyler, number 34 of Woods, the number 50 of Lehman, number 63 of Carroll, 75 Terheimer, 82 of Brooks, 97 of Baird, and the 419 of championship leader Keaton Tripp. That's the important one there for you. The championship leader will be starting from the back of the field this evening if he does make the race. Now, we have 38 cars on track at the moment, which means we're going to get everybody on the road out of qualifying into tonight's race.
Not uncommon for that this late in the season. People start to fade away as their chase championship hopes wither away. You know, that's very common. To be honest, the fact that there's still 38 cars showing up this late in the season is just quite a testament to how good of a league this really is. You know, you can see as much as, even 50% fall off this late in the season in these type situations. But speaking of that, let's look at the points with the chase going in, because we are narrowing down quickly on the chase.
We're 4 rounds away, Jim, including tonight. We're 4 rounds away from that chase beginning in a couple of weeks' time. As I said, when we get to May, it will begin. Right now, locked into the top 15, Keaton Tripp, we'd have to argue, is pretty well locked in.
Oh, yeah.
I would even argue Bentley Glazer, Justin Michael locked in as well. The interesting name on that list is James Lehman. This is his last round of the season, Jim, as he has military duties to tend to in future. So that means that's going to open up a spot for somebody else to come in and get into the chase. And I think if the league was fair on that point, James is not going to be here. He's not going to be able to race.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to use that chase position. Let's just knock him away and bring up an extra person, which is great for those who are on the bubble, i.e. Billy Bumgarner, Rob Haynes, Heath Smith, Jack Watts, Scott Patton, or John Schoenbachler, because that's an extra slot that they can now get, because realistically right now, Bumgarner is in the crucial 16th position with Lehman out.
Yep, and you look at the likes of Mike Milfelt Jr., Rob Mitten. Those guys were out last week, in this week. Which again, that's all part of being on the bubble, as race in and race out goes. These guys, their season life rides on every one of these finishes from here on out. And Will Kirk is a prime example. Last week he was in pretty dangerous spot. I think he was 15th or something like that. Potential of falling out of the chase, and now he's now he's pretty solidly in a safer spot anyway. But I'll tell you what, we came on the air a little bit early tonight, and we did that specifically to get out here and get ahead of qualifying. So we're gonna throw up our qualifying stuff here and get out here and watch these boys qualify tonight, because even though it's not an elimination situation, starting up front here is certainly an advantage for sure.
Oh, it is indeed. It is a significant advantage, and for those drivers who have got EOL penalties, which Round in the chat saying, if nearly everyone has an EOL, then doesn't that defeat the purpose of an EOL?
No, not really.
Because they're all going to be lining up in a single line.
Yep.
And in fact, actually, the better that you qualify, the worse your EOL can be, because I believe it goes in order of where you've actually qualified is where you line up in the EOL order. So actually, I'm talking complete incorrect there.
Yeah,
what
you're
I mean
actually
is
exact opposite.
the person,
right?
the person who qualifies the worst out of those EOL drivers will be at the very back of the EOL line.
So
there is some importance for those drivers.
10 spots or something is huge,
It's massive. You could be, those 10 drivers could be in the top 20. You're P20. All of a sudden, you're losing, 20 odd or 18 positions because you're starting right at the back.
Last year's winner jumps right up to the top here. It looks like Heath Smith's on a heater there. Where did he end up? No, let's see. Where is he at?
Well, some good running there from Smith. Of course, he's on the bubble to make the chase in the coming weeks, Jim, with 4 rounds to go. That's a big moment. And if he's going to maximize leading into the chase, it's got to be tonight. because the next few
Yep.
weeks are going to be a tough run to try and maximize for some of those drivers, of course, as we think about what we've got coming up. Obviously, LOR next week, Lucas Oil
Yeah,
Raceway
that's
Park,
a bit of a
Pocono the week
dice roll.
after, and then Michigan as well. 3 very tough tracks to
Very
lead into
different
the
tracks,
chase.
too.
3 different tracks. It's all going to offer up some differential. Now, I want to offer up a bit of differential to you as well, Jim. Last week, we saw our 3rd different multiple-time race winner. We've had 7 different race winners this season, but Justin Michael joined the list of multiple-time race winners. Are we going to see another multi-time race winner tonight, or are we going to see a new race winner join that list of glory from this season?
I think we've seen, who the front runners are here now, and there's still a couple guys out there that could potentially become a new race winner. In fact, Nathan Carroll being one of them right here that we have on camera. I think it's entirely possible that he pulls off a win at some point this year, as he just jumped to the pole. Is that right?
Yes, a 30.51 on that last attempt. Greg Maul's gone up to the top 10 as well. Chris Howe in the 10-2. Austin Wagner's not yet made it. Sheldon Backler, who has got that EOL tonight, will get his qualifying done and dusted.
Well,
a lot of drivers, though, with EOLs have not qualified. Tripp hasn't qualified.
See, neither's
Lehman.
I think that's a mistake. Why would you not qualify? Pit box position you still get. If you qualify on pole, you still get the best pit box. So I don't understand why you wouldn't qualify, unless
maybe they've determined it's better to have the earlier pit box than it is to have the later one here in Nashville.
I've never seen that to be the case in all my years of watching NASCAR racing. There's very, very few situations where that is the case. More so, in sim racing, it's not as quite as important because you can't really get blocked on pit road, so to speak, but obviously in real life racing, the less chance you have of getting blocked coming out of your pit box, the better off you are. But still, if you watch these guys who get these top pit boxes every week, they tend to get out of pit road first, in a lot of those situations. So, there, speaking of the devil, there he is out there. Oh, no, that's Wagner. Never mind. I thought that was Keaton Tripp. The 419 on the hood really confuses me. I'm pretty simple. And I see 419, I think Keaton Tripp. So I think we've got everybody.
Well, I suppose the differential we can make, Jim, is Austin Wagner's driving around in a bathroom mirror.
Yes.
Compared to Keaton Tripp, who's driving around in the toothpaste mobile.
I have to say, I like that blue and chrome look. I really do. If I'm being honest, I think that's a pretty sharp looking truck. All right, let's see here. Let's get us a grid up since they're usually huge.
Well, of course, 38 cars tonight, multiple cars with EOL penalties, and this is how they will line up for the qualifying results. Nathan Carroll will start pole position alongside the now 2-time race winner Justin Michael for this season on the front row of the grid. Second row here tonight will find Heath Smith and Dakota Floyd for the top 4 cars. To row 3, we'll then look back to Scott Patton and Krishon Elliott. Krishon sits on the bubble for the chase in a few weeks' time. He'll want to try and maximise points tonight. Glazer will start alongside Charles Woods in the top-seeded Ram on the grid here this evening, just ahead of Greg Maul on the 5th row of the grid. The top-seeded Ford in the field, now inside the top 10, with Chris Howe for the top 10 starting positions as well. Row 6, we find Josh Fracker and Chris Walker for the top 12 cars on the grid. To the top 14, we then find Kyle Stewart and Michael Milfelt Jr. for the 7th row of the grid as well. Row 8, we find Billy Bumgarner and Justin Ritchie for the top 16 cars on the road. To row 9, it's Jordan Nees and Stove Price Jr. for the top 18. To make out the top 20, though, it'll be Austin Wagner starting alongside Riley Laverne for the top 20 cars on the grid. Row 11, we then find Rob Haynes and Jack Watts for the top 22. To row 12, we'll then find ourselves with the top 24 cars of Tommy Cook and Joshua Modicek for P24 on the road as well. Row 13, Parker Donaldson alongside James Durr for the top 26 cars. To row 14, it's John Schoenbachler and Garrett Helmlinger for the top 28 on the grid here tonight. Making up our top 30 in behind them, it is going to be Kerry Cleaver and Jeff Hollingsworth for the 15th row of the grid as well. Row 16, Michael Brooks and Keaton Tripp. Well, Keaton starting at the very back of the field tonight because of the EOL. They'll start ahead of James Lehman and Rod Mitten for the top 34. To row 18, we then find ourselves with Matt Rodoloso and TJ Lee Jr. in the final row of the grid for the 38 cars here tonight. It will be Zachary Groover and Larry Eddy for the top 38 here at Nashville Superspeedway. 2 pace car laps to come our way, Jim, as we prepare ourselves for the race start. As we said, multiple EOLs this evening, multiple cars getting put to the back of the field as well. Do we think that's going to give them any sort of advantage coming throughout this race? Have they got any sort of advantage coming off of this? And one thing that I've just noticed as well, Nathan Carroll, pole sitter tonight, one of those EOL drivers who is starting at the back end of the field, but he will have the number one pit box, being that he did qualify that car on pole.
Yes, and it also obviously is sending a bit of a message that, hey, I'm fast. I've got a truck here tonight. And, I think that so you talk about potential advantage. I would say that the first thing that comes to my mind is that, as this thing dwindles down and that you could potentially make a track position move if say if there's a caution 10 laps or 5 laps before the stage break, you could pull one of those classic come in now and stay out for the stage break and try to get some track position and gain it that way. And I mean, if something does happen up towards the front of the field, obviously being that far back, maybe you can avoid it. It's obviously a penalty, but, at a 113 lap race, which this is, I don't know that it's the worst thing in the world. I would much rather be the first guy at the end of the line as opposed to the last guy, because it's going to spread out on him pretty fast.
Well, we've got 3 cars who are not on the grid right now. So if they're starting this race, they're starting from pit lane. So 35 cars
and
will roll around for
Rod
the
Mitten.
race start. It is Rod Mitten is one of them. So we mentioned him and his abilities out there. But to the start zone we go. The lights will go up. And we will prepare ourselves for a race start as Scott Patton will lead us to the start zone here out at Nashville Superspeedway. Green flag for round 12. And how far can we go here tonight before we see the yellow flag for the first time? Through turn 1 and 2 we go. 2 line of stern stuff, and this is going to be the story of the night, Jim. Is this too wide action? Because I think we're going to get a little bit of pack racing happening, but ultimately it's going to come down to some good strategy and clean running that is going to keep you in the fight throughout this evening's race here at Nashville, as Patton will lead us through to start lap 2.
Well, I guess, the only thing I would say is when I think of pack racing, I think about what you see at Daytona and Talladega, which is that nose to tail, bumper to bumper, just the entire, going off the track back there. Oh, we got a wreck.
They're wrecking. Yep, and that's going to be a yellow flag. A couple of drivers involved. Zach Groover is one of them, so is Garrett Helmlinger as well. James Durr involved. Donaldson too, so multiple cars have been caught up in that one for an early meatball flag on some cars and an early yellow flag in this race as well. And I wonder, Jim, if you're at the back of the field, do you maybe just sneak in, take an extra lap of fuel on board the car, just to offset yourself a little bit?
Why not? No reason not to,
You're not going to lose very much, are you? I mean, you're at the back, so...
I mean, the thing is, they can easily make it to the stage without stopping. Well, that 44 is messed up there. Who is that? That 44's tore up pretty good there.
Well, what it might do is, Jim...
Oh, it's Hamlin.
It might offset you enough that maybe you just stay out at the stage. Maybe you stay out, take some track position.
Maybe.
and then you pit later in the race, because
All right.
ultimately it is it's over 100 laps tonight. We're only going to lap 34 for the stage. Going that little bit longer might actually help you offset your fuel a little bit to maybe make this race a two-stopper across the night instead of maybe a three-stopper if you're stopping at the stage and then going, another so laps afterwards. I mean, that might have to be some sort of a point of strategy call maybe for some of those drivers looking for some track position tonight, i.e. Keaton Tripp, who started further back in the field because of his EOL. Same with James Lehman, as some cars are in. So we are getting pit stops, Jim.
Yeah.
As the
Actually,
chaos,
some reasonably high placed cars too, like
Justin
Ritchie,
Michael
who was,
Milfeld.
Yep. As I'm trying to figure out exactly what happened here on this wreck. I'm trying to figure out who was at the front of it.
So I can tell you right now, Richie had a black flag, so that's why he's come in to serve that black flag. Milfeld Jr. has not taken tyres, but I have to wonder if he's maybe carrying some damage because of that incident, and then that is why he's come into pit road. I think if you're at the back and you were in...
There we go. Here,
Carroll,
so this is the initial. Well, I'm sorry. This is the initial where Bumgarner got off the track, the 155.
Milfeld gave him a bit of contact.
And then
the 23s come in and just plowed into him and caused all hell to break loose.
That plowed into him sounds like it was the 23's fault.
But
clearly, it was the 155.
Sorry, no. It was, yes. The 155, he had gotten loose. He hit into Bumgarner. His car was then slow. That's put the 23 in the position where he's driven into him and hit him because he can't really do much else about that. And it's just a domino effect, Jim. And this is what can happen at Nashville, is these domino effects. And it happens so quickly. It's amazing how quickly a race can go from comfortability of cars just sitting alongside each other nice and steady to just chaos. It happens so quickly here.
Chaos was a good word. That's pretty much what that was. Yes, indeed. Well, let's see. So not a whole lot of changes up here at the front, really, at this point.
No.
Scott Patton, he's up a few spots, but that was obviously due to some of the EOL penalties.
But he did well off the start, Jim.
No, he
Took
did.
The race lead off the start.
I tell you I guess has benefited maybe from some pit stops and some track moves is like Jordan Neves, up 7 spots already.
Rob Haynes up 10.
Rob Haynes up 10. Yeah, exactly.
So there's some big movers. Hollingsworth up 11, Lehman up 12, Lee Jr. up 13 as well.
Right.
So those guys trying to take advantage here. Are already fighting their way through the field.
He's back there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So pace truck will come in. We'll get restarted. We've re-racked them and restacked them once again. As we get ready to go green flag running here at Nashville, we've completed a single green flag lap here tonight as we begin lap 6 of 113, and it's lap 6 of stage 1. As we said, we're going to go 34 laps in stage 1 here this evening. It'll then leave roughly 95 laps to the end. Actually, no, a bit under that. That'd be about 85 laps to the end, but what we've seen, though, is a fantastic restart from Patton and Floyd. The inside line runners had a significant advantage over the outside line, Jim, of Justin Michael, who's been trapped back now in P3 as he begins to try and fight back against Floyd as they cross the line. So it looks to be inside line's the place to be, Jim, on those pace car restarts tonight.
Yeah, especially early on when the tires are so grippy, and they still got all their grip left in them pretty much, which these do at this point. I think that as the tire cycle wears, I think those lines will even out a little bit. Dakota Floyd's going to be strong here all night, though. He was last season's winner. He obviously can throw this place pretty good. I'm just trying to look back here through the field and see who's moving where.
We have got a gaggle of cars, Jim, just inside the top 20 and roughly outside the top 22. There is about 15 cars, or thereabouts, just swarmed around each other, trying to survive the pressures that is Nashville.
Let me just go back up here to the front. We'll stay up there, and let's give them a little picture-in-picture maybe.
here at Nashville Superspeedway. And what I've been impressed by, Jim, is just how tidy they've gotten themselves. They had a little moment on lap 1 or lap 2, but now that they've gotten into a good green flag run here, they've settled into their rhythm. And this may pay dividends for some of those drivers that came in under the caution just to extend their fuel cycle that little bit heading out towards the stage.
We had an audio issue there, and I want to say it was related to the picture-in-picture. I've got it straightened out now. For some reason, when I kicked the picture-in-picture on, it turned off all the audio on the broadcast. Not exactly sure why, but I think we've got that fixed. So if, well, in fact, I can see it. So yeah, we should have that squared away now. I apologize for that. By the way, that little bit of commentary that you missed there, since we went to the picture-in-picture, arguably was Emmy winning level commentary. I hate that you guys missed it. It was probably some of the best commentary that Hamish and I have ever done, and I really do hate that you guys missed that.
We'll have to try and bring it back for them then, Jim, just to
we'll relive that Emmy
give them
moment
a taste of what happened. I'm sure we will.
We didn't miss a lot as far as what was going on the track, but they did miss some brilliant insight more than anything else. And they missed my wonderful joke about Billy Bumgardner sliding all over the track with his oil and vinegar from Subway on the tires.
No, it was absolutely fantastic, Jim, and yeah, we can only apologise that you guys missed it. It will go down in the annals of history.
Well, it won't
for us too, but nobody else. But,
It won't, because nobody heard it, unfortunately.
Well, we can see as well that pressure is continuing to be applied here for a lot of these drivers on the field here tonight. We appreciate everybody out there letting us know about the audio issue as well when we did have it. That helps us a lot. We can't sit here and monitor it all the time, so it helps when you guys get involved and help let us know how everything's going out there too. And hopefully visually for you guys out there as well, it is nice and crisp and clean for you over on YouTube here tonight, as well as Keaton Tripp's trying to fight his way forward tonight, Jim, but Jeff Hollingsworth's making his night that little bit harder, starting from the back of the field, but he is up 10 positions and he wants to make it 11 if he can get past Hollingsworth just ahead of him.
Yeah, he's kind of boxed in there. He's got somebody down below him, so he can't take it to the bottom side, and whoever that is right in front of him is going, oh, there he goes. He's going to try to take it all the way down. Look at this. What a block, huh? Gee whiz.
Well, he's trying to fight now with a car that is a lap down in Parker Donaldson as well, with Hollingsworth, who he looks to get up the inside of. So this is tough racing now, and it's tough battling further back in the field.
I don't know. I'm just a lap down car running blocks like that, man, is a bit crazy. The old stock car racer in me says, you throw that block on me one more time, and I'm going to park you into the fence. You don't get to do that a lap down. You certainly don't get to do it more than once. That's not cool at all. You're a lap down. You gotta stay out of the way of the lead lap cars. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, it's one thing to run your line, but to throw a massive all the way down the track block onto the apron, no, that's not cool.
Well, we're seeing, Jim, a little bit of pressure being applied here at the front of the field as Bentley Glazer now has made his way up to P4 on the road. Justin Michael continuing to fight with Dakota Floyd up in P2 as Scott Patton is just starting to stretch his legs that little bit ahead of them out at the race lead position. We see there's a little bit of separation further back in the field, as well as Kyle Stewart leads the backpack of this field with Nathan Carroll on his tail. The next next pack in front of them has the likes of Jack Watts, James Lehman, Tommy Cook, Riley Laverne, all inside the top 15 battling away as well. So
Lehman and Nathan Carroll are both doing pretty decent, working their way up from the back of the field.
Well, they're doing a great effort. Keaton Tripp is just trying to slowly push his way forward tonight, as is Joshua Motorcheck as well. But those guys just trying to sneak their way forward and get some good points on the board. I suppose for Keaton Tripp, he doesn't have to worry about points in the stage, Jim. He more so has to worry about just getting race wins and getting good points on the board leading into the chase.
I mean, I think
where he's at
currently, I think that he can worry about whatever falls his way. If the strategy works itself to where he gets stage points, then so be it. He gets stage points. You know what I mean? If it lends itself to him not getting stage points but gaining track position and finishing higher in the race, I mean, he's virtually, if not already, locked into the chase. So, you know, I think at his point, you just keep the car under you. You don't wreck the car, and you take what the race will give you. You know, and you know, one way or another, like I said, if it doesn't give you chase points, then you just race for the end of the race. You know, he's got options because he doesn't have any pressure on him right now at all. How's that Keaton Tripp battle going with the lap car back there? I'm kind of curious to see if that's still going on.
Well, he's finally gotten past him.
Just got by him, yeah.
Here tonight, so
I'll tell you what, he's got more patience than me. I would not have put up with that too long.
Well, you know, some people may have dumped the car if they kept on blocking them.
Oh, I would have
absolutely.
I'd have absolutely dumped it. 100%. You know, or at least I'd have moved you. I'm not say dump him, but I would have moved him up. I'd have got him out of the way. I just don't. It's one thing, like I said, if you're just racing hard, which that's even frowned upon, right? You don't race, you know, lead lap cars hard when you're a lap down. It's not effective.
Unless you are. The only caveat to that I would give, Jim, is if it was a road course race and you're faster than the lead lap car, I think it's fine to unlap yourself if you're going to be faster than them and run away from them. That's a different scenario. But with pack racing like this or stock car racing in general, it's not likely you're going to run away from them, so you might as well just let him go and fight another day.
Again, the only place that's okay is if you're the lead lap car, if you're the lap down car and you're battling for the lucky dog spot. Okay, or you're battling to not go a lap down. I can see you racing a little harder in that situation. But other than that, you just don't get the opportunity. You just don't do that. You don't, especially not the points leader. You don't jeopardize the points leader's race because you're wanting to grind on him hard because you're mad because you got involved in an early incident. You know?
Well, we can see right now that Tripp is trying to sneak his way forward once again. He's up 12 positions in this race. He's fighting with Kyle Stewart for P19. Floyd and Michael are battling for P2 on the road, and Krishan Elliott's trying to fight his way forward past Jordan Nees as well.
Yeah,
he's not been able to make that move just yet, but the front five, they sit in a single line astern, Jim, with a lot of pressure applied to them as Patton has now got the 5 of them for the top 6 tucked up in behind him and putting pressure on him towards the stage break.
Yeah, we're closing in on it pretty fast. We're at lap 29 here, so we've got 5 laps to go till the stage break. So at this point, if a caution does come out, that'll be the stage break. So we're right there. Uh-oh, what did I say?
Well, I don't know what you said, to be honest.
Apparently I worded something incorrect or worded something funny, but that's, sometimes I even intend to do things like that. I don't know that it was this time. But.
Well, Dakota Floyd wants the race lead, but so does Justin Michael on Scott Patton. Which one of them's going to try and sneak past him? It's time to make your move now. If you want to try and win the stage and take home maximum points for the first 34 laps of this race, watch for Bentley Glazer as well. Michael's got a good run here on the back of Patton, but he has to back out of it leading in towards turn 3. Floyd ahead now. Can he hold himself ahead of Scott Patton as they come round to begin lap 31 of this race? We've only got a few laps to go before the stage break, and it's on for the race lead and the stage win in stage 1 here at Nashville.
Yeah, what a battle this is turning into. Holy cow, man. This is they're battling hard up here for this stage win, which, I mean, it's important, some more important than others, but it's definitely they're grinding out up here.
They are battling tooth and nail.
They're respectfully racing, though. They're giving each other room. They're not squeezing each other down or running one up the track. I mean, it's good, hard racing, but clean.
But it's dragging more and more cars into it, Jim, of course. Patton, Floyd, Michael, Howe, Glazer, Fracker, and Maul are all involved in this. So top 7 cars are all fighting for a race lead and for a stage win here tonight as Dakota Floyd takes the race lead from Patton once again. It's 2 laps to go in the stage.
Slide
And
up
he's
on
finally
him. There
gotten
it
past
goes.
him. Slide jobs the car in front. Takes the race lead. 2 to go in stage 1. And has Patton got anything he can do to counteract the run of Floyd and get that truck back in the lead? Right now, it doesn't look like, Jim, he can do anything with only a lap and a half to go before the caution comes out.
No, I don't think so. I think that respectful racing there gave Dakota Floyd enough room to, to make that pass and then slide up in front of Patton there. But I'm sure where Patton's at in the points and everything, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to take the second place in the stage and get these points here. And with such a strong truck tonight, he's really got a good truck tonight, it looks like.
He's driving very well. There's pressure for the back of the top 10 too, with Rob Haynes trying to battle away here with Stove Price Jr. Grishon Elliott's involved in this as well, so is Austin Wagner as we come around turn 3 and 4. Dakota Floyd's going to win the stage for stage 1 here tonight ahead of Scott Patton, Chris Howe, Justin Michael, Bentley Glazer, Josh Fracker, Greg Maul, Jordan Nees, Grishon Elliott and Rob Haynes, the top 10 for stage 1.
So let's pull the stage guys up here real quick to...
Well, Scott got past him, so that actually changed it slightly, Jim. But no, the ordering is corrected if we swap over Floyd and Pat, because Floyd did win the stage, but
hold on,
everyone else.
Oh,
is
he
in
got
correct
by
position.
him at the end there. Okay, yeah. Let me see if it... No,
He snuck by him after they came around over the line. There it is.
So, yeah, you got to literally catch it immediately, or it changes as they start to settle in. But yeah, there's your stage, your top 10 for the stage finish. Man, what a run! That was a fantastic little green flag run after that little early incident. Of course, everybody's coming in. We knew that was going to happen. And everybody will take 4 fresh tires here and fill it up with fuel. And then we'll be off and running. This is where it's going to get fun. If we stay green, I was watching in pre-race right before you came in to the booth, and there was this. It's incredibly hard to get down off the track at speed into pit road, and I can't wait to see here with Nathan Carroll, because he qualified, how good this pit stall pays off for him. Let's see if he moves up some here. Yeah, it's not really.
We'll see if he can get any advantage out of this.
Honest,
He's exiting pit road now.
Guys he jumped there. I really didn't see where he was at prior to coming in. I wasn't paying attention to that. I should have been. I will on the next pit stop for sure.
Well, he's got work to do, and it's going to have to be done on the road tonight now,
him and
Jim.
Lehman are still two places apart, which they were running as they worked their way up. Let's take a look. Where's Keaton Tripp?
He's also a few positions ahead of Keaton Tripp, who's back in P18. So I have a feeling that Tripp has been held up a little bit in pit lane.
Well,
that's dropped him back to P18.
He was behind them anyway, so they're about where they were. What I want to know is, well, of course, this will change now because lap down cars couldn't pit till after that. So Donaldson is now in pit road, so he's kind of out of that mix now. I think Keaton Tripp got used up a good bit there by Parkle Donaldson earlier in that. And I know I'm kind of harboring on that a little bit, but I tell you what, that just rubs me the wrong way when I see somebody race a lap down car racing that hard. That was a crazy block. He went from the outside line next to the wall all the way down to the apron to throw a block.
I think the issue is he's more than 3 laps down. Parker ultimately is 11 laps down in this race.
Well, I mean, if I'm race control there, I'm parking him for a lap or two because of that.
Yeah, like you have to ask, what is the point? It's not like you're a lap down or you're about to go a lap down on that car.
Right. No, a whole different animal. Exactly.
You're 11 laps down, and you then beg the question of, well, why?
Yeah.
What's the point? What are you earning by doing that? You're not really earning anything. Yes, you're trying to run hard and clean, There's nothing to be gained from that, though. And ultimately, Jim, the way they're racing, Parker's probably not likely to actually get back on the lead lap tonight. So,
Oh, no chance. 11 laps down? There's no way.
yeah, there's no way.
No way.
As we get up to the restart zone, Dakota Floyd, Scott
Nice
Batten
jump.
will begin stage 2 of this race, and a great jump for Floyd on that powerful low line. Watch for Glazer and Michael to sneak by Hal and Patton at the front end of town as well, as it's lap 30 out of 113, and Keaton Tripp's made contact further back. Stage has restarted,
Matichek or
but the
Milka?
caution should come out. I believe that there was with Josh Matichek, quite possibly.
Yeah, I think it was
The
Matichek.
caution has not been thrown,
Oh,
but this is what happened down there, Jim, and this is how it all went down off the restart for Keaton Tripp, who's now all the way down
That's-
in P31.
that's devastating for Keaton Tripp that the caution didn't come out there.
Yeah, no caution. Still green flag. This is what happened. So he's riding. Car inside has come up high, hit the back of him. That's the 200 entry, and down he's gone.
Did the 200 come up, or did Keaton Tripp
The
run down the
200's come
track?
up. No, the 200 has come up on him.
Show that
If we
again,
watch this
please,
back again.
from the chopper, maybe.
Oh, of course, Jim's favourite camera.
It is my
the chopper
favorite.
cam to
Well,
show off.
it shows the lines. It shows the.
So you can see him bumping there. He's bumping the car ahead of him. He's
Yeah.
got Tripp to his outside as well as Wagner. And so then watch as he enters turn 1. So Tripp's nice and high. He follows the line nicely. Watch
No,
the 200. So
Tripp
Tripp
came
comes
down
down
on
slightly,
him.
and then
Tripp came
he
down
comes
on him,
down, and then the
100%.
200 starts to come up.
Nah.
So I think it's on both of them, but I think it's more so on Tripp because of that footage. Because he's come more aggressively down than the 200 has come
He
up.
thought he was clear there because of that
Yeah, he
huge
did.
gap from the bump. But I
Yeah.
tell you what, that just bit him in the butt. I'll keep it clean because he's so off the pack now that that's devastating for him, man. Where is he at in relation to the back of the field, if you would, please?
Well, Tripp is all the way back here,
Give me
down at
so
turn 2.
we can't
There's
even
Michael
see the
Brooks.
field. Show
then there's
his
Billy
show
Bumgarner.
Keaton Tripp's inboard, like his roll bar or something. Wait till he gets to the straightaway. I just want
He's
to
got
see
no
how.
one.
Golly, man,
He's
you
got
can't
no one
even-
in front of him.
You can't even see the field.
We go up on his roof. You
They're
can
gone.
barely see the last car that's
yeah,
ahead of him,
no,
which
that's-
is Michael Brooks.
If he doesn't get a quick
who's
caution,
well off. Yeah, if he doesn't get a caution, this is gonna go from bad to worse for him here tonight. As Lehman begins to battle as well inside of the top 10, or
We
just
both
outside
picked
the
the
top
same
10, I should say. Of course we do. We've got the same brain, Jim. Of course. So field has started to spread here a little bit. Krishan Elliott's now down 12 positions, so he's got work to do to get back up and inside the top 10 after a good stage finish last time round. With Heath Smith ahead of him
Nathan
as well.
Carroll has caught Lehman. He was 2 spots behind him at the restart, you remember. He's caught him
Yeah, he
now
has.
and is driving around him on the outside. But we do know that Nathan Carroll's truck was fast tonight. He qualified on pole. Of course, had the end of the line penalty for anybody that's joining late. So, but he's recovering. They're both recovering great.
Well, he's now only down 9 positions
Yeah,
from
I
that
know.
pole in P10. So he's done a hell of an effort to get that truck to the position it's in. Same for Lehman, who didn't qualify tonight, who did have an EOL. He's up 22 into P11 as well in his final outing for MVRL CNC Home Designs Truck Series for 2026. And he'd love to end his run on a win, Jim. Surely. He'd love to end it on a win, go out on a
Of course.
high,
Yeah.
and then come back
And by
in
the way,
future and win
wanna,
it again.
I want to state, that he is military, and it's time for him to ship out. So I just want to thank him and any other service members out there. Thank you for your service. People don't realize the sacrifice involved. Sacrifice for these military families. What it's like to have your spouse or loved one or boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever the case may be, to have them away for that long. And the fact that we all get to go home in the evening from work and we get to come home and get on our sim rigs and race. this will be the last time that he races for the rest of this year, because obviously he won't be anywhere near his sim rig anymore. So, yeah, just thank him and anybody else out there that serves this country. It's greatly appreciated by a lot of us, for sure.
Well, it's appreciated for all the countries that we have service members for, from those military representatives, of course. You have me here in Australia for Australian Armed Forces, for Jim in the US for US Armed Forces as well. Here in Australia, Jim, we have Anzac Day coming up later in the month as well, where we honour those who we've lost through,
what is that called?
Through war. Anzac Day. It's the Australian New Zealand Army Corps Day. And what coincides with that is one of the leagues that I commentate for has an Anzac Day round, where a lot of drivers will make Anzac Day liveries, so inspired by the history of war Australia's been involved in, or the military for Australia as well. One thing that my team does, Jim, for the liveries that I make for them for Anzac Day, on the roof of our cars, they normally would run their car number on the roof. We take off the personalised things we have on the cars. Everyone runs the same thing. And on the roof is names of our friends and family that have served in the military for Australia, whether they've retired, whether they're alive, whether they've passed away, whatever it is.
Right.
Our close friends and family who have served, their names go on the roof of the car, and they ride with us for that day.
So, just as a question regarding Australian holidays relating to the military, like in the United States here, we have a Memorial Day and we have a Veterans Day. Memorial Day is obviously in memory of those that we've lost that served, right?
Yes.
And then Veterans Day is just in general celebrating veterans,
Yes.
as a whole. Do you have something similar where one is like a memorial thing and one is just something?
Yeah. Anzac Day is kind of for both.
Okay.
And then Remembrance Day is for those we've lost, which is on the 11th of November. Yeah, 11th of November.
So that's awesome. Yeah, I don't. Obviously, it's we don't know the traditions of other countries. Especially. It's just it's so hard to keep up with that kind of stuff. But that's really cool.
Yes. Yes.
But that being said, our military veteran that we're talking about here, Layman, is they're wrecking. They're wrecking.
We are indeed. That's the caution that drivers needed who were knocked down the order tonight, Jim.
Oh man,
Rob
Carroll
Haynes
was involved in that.
Dropped back. So was Nathan Carroll.
Oh, he was
That's
on
a real shame.
I literally was about to say that he had pulled away from Layman, and was. What in the world is the 34 doing there?
Charles Woods is spun around.
I think he's
on the
tore
grass.
up because he took across Nathan Carroll's nose there. So let's see where this started here. I'm gonna go here. Let me get out of this picture real quick, and then we'll just see what happened here. Let's go play.
So Carroll got a tap from the 199, which he's trying to go for an inside line that's not even there.
All right, let me go back to a regular camera and then start that over again so I can really see. And I'm gonna slow it down here. So
I'm trying to watch back. What happened with Nathan Carroll and Charles Woods?
Did Nathan Carroll just get loose?
No, and he got hit from the 199. The 199 clipped him and got him loose.
Did he?
Through turn 2.
Right,
he hits him.
One more chance here. Let me go up here and let's see. Okay, so yeah, there's Carroll. Okay, yep, there he is. Yep,
he hits him.
Definitely hit him and spun him. Yep.
Yeah, he spins him, and then
199 got hit, of course, because now they're stacking up.
But keep watching it, Jim. Watch on Carroll to see what happens with Charles Woods, and then I want to get your opinion on this, because what I've just seen is something that is pretty egregious to happen after a wreck like this, but I'm not going to comment on it too much. So Woods comes through minding his own business.
Yep.
there's Carroll rejoining the circuit right there in behind him. Caution's out,
Yep.
by the way, Jim. The caution is out. And then watch what happens with Carroll and Woods here up towards turn 3. He just comes up and turns him and dumps him for no reason.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say that's what I saw as well. And I would say, without talking to him, I would say my guess is he probably thought the 34 was who wrecked him. That would be my take on that. But so I'm going to focus strictly.
That doesn't really give him a pass, though, to go up and dump him.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. All right. I mean, obviously,
what we've seen is, Jim, is actually a massive shake-up. Well, we've just seen a massive shake-up, by the way, of the ordering of the field.
Yes.
Quite a few cars are coming to pit road, including Dakota Floyd,
yes, but
who has actually come out to pit road at P8 on the road. We're getting ready and set for a restart here off the replay of all the incidents that have occurred. So Justin Michael is now the corrected race leader with Glazer, Lehman, Elliott, Watts, Laverne, Milfelt Jr., Floyd, Patton, Howell, the top 10. But Floyd has taken a second pit stop on lap 53. So he sits in a pretty neat and tidy position, Jim, after taking a free stop under this caution. The front runners have determined that they want track position more so than anything, but he sits in a good spot. He's only 7 spots off the race lead. The fuel advantage now over these cars ahead of him.
Well, I wish this caution would go one more lap because I would try to find Nathan Carroll and pull him in the booth.
Well, maybe we can drag him in if we get another one and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm trying to find him. I don't see him in Discord, but I can't really look right now.
We get ready for a restart here once again. Lap 56 will get underway. And Justin Michael leads the field. We have got, well, we're at half race distance, Jim. Lap 56 and 113. We are halfway home at the commencement of the next lap.
So those guys that just pitted, if this thing goes green, they can make it.
That's a smart move. Smart decision from those guys.
My calculations show that they can run 51 laps without saving any fuel. So that would put them
They
at
can't make it then. They didn't. Yeah, but they.
No, they can make it. That's,
they pitted on
my
53.
number's conservative. My number's conservative.
Okay.
You know,
because they pitted on 53, so they'd have to go 60 laps to the end of the race.
Yeah, no, my thing's a little conservative. Certainly, if there's a caution and they don't want to pit, they can make it. But look at him 3 wide back there.
I have found Nathan Carroll, by the way.
Okay. So
we have been told he's in the WMV channel, so if we get a caution, we'll drag him in. The problem now is, Jim, is those cars that did not pit, as Floyd is a rocket ship, by the way. Yeah. He's already up to P3. Those cars that did not pit, if they've got to pit under caution, they're going to be buried to the very end of the field.
Yeah, it
if they have to pit under green, if they have to pit under green, Jim, they're going to be buried a lap down on the whole field. This is a massive mistake for those cars to have not come in comparison to those that did come in, Jim, is what I'm saying.
They can go all the way to almost lap 90. I mean, that's a long time. We've had 2 cautions already. Speaking of that, let's take a look at the race recap so far. We had 3 cautions, 2 plus the stage caution.
Plus the stage break.
So I would say that, I wouldn't say massive mistake. The only time that becomes a massive mistake to me is if it goes green all the way. Then say,
I would argue it could go green past their pit stop. It could.
Sure.
I think
we haven't seen that yet. We've seen 2 cautions in 55 laps, basically, plus the stage.
But if we discount the stage, Jim, it means that we've gone 41 laps green. Like, it's, 41 laps green without the stage. That's still a lot of laps, and it's enough to get them to that point.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see what they can do.
I probably would have pitted there myself, being that it's close
I would've.
enough.
Yeah, free stop.
I
Might as well
would've.
come in.
But I can certainly understand not.
Importantly, Jim, Dakota Floyd, who did pit, has just made a move for the race lead. They're 3 wide, coming on to the tri-oval once again. And for Michael Patton and Floyd, they battle for a race lead, but for Floyd, he sits pretty with a great advantage over those cars. Can he make the car home? And when will those guys need a pit? That is the question that is on everybody's lips right now. Is there 3 wide further back as well, Jim, with Carroll trying to fight his way forward here, with Smith and Brooks ahead of him.
Yeah, I got a feeling that that Carroll's probably going to suffer a penalty based on what we saw there.
I would tend to agree with you, Jim. I think he will, and I think it'll result in an EOL next week, more than likely, is what I would say is going to be the case for him. He's got a case to answer for, and I don't think he's going to have an answer for them. Ultimately, that would say, well, sorry, but it's an EOL. That's my opinion.
I agree.
I think there's some answering to do as well for the 199 that hit him as well. So,
yeah, I mean,
I think both of them have got some answering.
That's more of a racing incident. What we saw didn't look too racing incident.
No,
what we witnessed was a little bit more egregious than that, and unless his steering was just all screwed the hell up. But
I don't know. But
yeah, no.
We have got 49 and a half laps left to go, Jim, when we cross, or 49 laps to go when we cross the line once again. Dakota Floyd is now the race leader to Chris Howell, who also pitted on lap 53. Scott Patton pitted on lap 53 as well. He's back in P4. Then there's Maul, Price Jr., Stewart, all in a great position on this strategy.
How many sets of tires have those guys used that pitted on lap 53? 2 sets.
I would say they've used 2, so they've got 1 left.
They've got 1 set left, and the other guys have 2 sets now.
Yes,
that's what I thought. I was just trying to clarify that.
So the world in which this does not pay off for them, Jim, is if there is a caution. If there's a caution, they're likely going to come in, take a fresh set of tires, and then come out of pit road.
Yes.
If it goes green, they're going to sit pretty well.
Yes.
Because the other cars are going to go a lap down, even with fresh tires. There's no way they're going to come back. And then if there's a caution after they've gone a lap down, only one of them is going to get back on the lead lap. The others are going to be trapped.
And then if it doesn't go, if it does go green all the way, then in theory they will have to green flag pit stop as well, and then that kind of evens it all back out again, I guess.
Well, based on your maths, so I would say that they
Well,
don't,
it's going to be close
for the 53 runners.
You did point out 60 laps. My number is a bit conservative. I don't know that it's 8 laps conservative or 9 laps conservative, but they potentially saving fuel to go 54, 55 laps, maybe.
Well, they gain a lap whenever there's a caution, Jim. They gain a lap on fuel whenever there's a caution. So they got to make 59 laps.
I don't think it's a 1-for-1 though.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Yeah, it is.
Because they only
sometimes
burn
it can be even more.
They only burn 1/3 of a lap of fuel, 1/3 of a gallon of fuel per lap, running at full speed.
Yeah. And then you cut that down by another to 1/3 of that for under caution.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if that's it could be close. I mean, like I said, my math is a bit conservative. I would safely say that any of the guys that are reasonably decent at saving fuel could go 55 laps pretty easily.
Well, what we're seeing right now, Jim, is the slow descent down the order for those cars that did not hit under that caution. Yeah. The old tires are starting to wear on them, and the pressure's starting to get to them as well.
That's the deciding factor, I think. Right
It is. Being on that old rubber at a track where we can see on the surface it is one of those. It's a weird one, isn't it, Jim? Nashville's more so that sort of oval that is kind of that concrete and tarmac composite sort of surfacing. We know on road courses that destroys tires. It destroys tires in stock car racing as well, going so fast around here.
Concrete, the racing surface itself here is 100% concrete.
Oh, well, there you go.
So the apron, so to speak, is more than likely asphalt, but the actual racing surface itself here is 100% concrete. It's one of the very rare tracks that's like that, and it is absolutely horrid on tires, especially in warmer weather conditions, which last time I looked, we were still in the high 90s track temperature. Yeah, we're still in the 90s track temperature-wise, so it's tough.
Hot.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, for those who've walked outside on a hot summer's day with no shoes on and you've stood on concrete or tarmac, you know how hot the ground can get, and ultimately that's going to burn up the rubber on these tires.
Right here,
it's real bad, but we can see how tight it's getting back there. 3 wide down the back stretch for the main screen action as well, as Bentley Glaze has been dropping down the order here tonight that we were focusing on for a moment there as well. You can see in the background there's Austin Wagner with Howell as they battle away. But the problem for
Justin Michael is all the way back in 10th place now, and he was battling for the lead up there just 10 laps ago.
Actually, you know who this has brought back into it, Jim? Keaton Tripp.
Oh yeah, no, he's absolutely
has been brought back into this thing because of that strategy to come in under the caution. That has worked out well for him to fight his way forward in the race. Although his last stop was a 41.5 second stop, so he actually had a black flag when he came in, and he's still amongst the top 10.
Did he, or did he have damage?
He might have had damage. May have had damage because of the contact earlier on. Justin Michael's into pit lane, so they're getting to the extent of their fuel, Jim, for those cars that stayed out.
They
so Michael's in.
I think
Richie
he's in.
Laverna
I think
in
he's
as well.
gambling here because of the tires. He's losing so much on the tires. He's taking a chance here. This thing's going to go green, and he's going to go ahead.
Well, he's going to go a lap down. So the worst thing that can happen now for Justin Michael is that a caution comes out. Because if it comes out, yes, he will get his lap back. But the problem is he going to be the top-seeded lap-down car? If we get one caution, Michael will be trapped a lap down on the race leader, Dakota Floyd, with Jack Watts ahead of him, about to go a lap down himself. And he's just lost another pit exit as well.
He's all right.
The tires, he's okay. But man, when it comes down, the house of cards can crumble quickly.
That's a pucker moment for sure there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's all right though. But again, I think, this is one of those situations where the undercut is going to be huge at this track. So if this thing goes green, the undercut is going to be massive. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. There's so many different ways this could play out now,
Well, what we're seeing now as well is, so Michael is now the top-seeded car who is a lap down. So if we do get that caution, he will get his lucky dog wave around. Right. Ultimately, if the yellow does come out.
He's going to be a rocket now, though.
He will be a rocket ship, but can he remain? The problem, I think the other problem for him is, Jim, as well, if he gains his lap back, he's going to be trapped at the back of the field as well. So that's going to be an issue for him as well.
On the lead lap. I mean, he in theory right now could unlap himself.
He could. He could unlap himself.
How far is he behind the leader right now?
Well, the race leader is coming through turn 1 and 2.
No, let's see.
He's at the tri-oval.
Does it say how?
He's at the tri-oval, Jim, but he is a lap down. So one single lap down on the race leader, Dakota Floyd. And Floyd's coming through turn 3 and 4. So that's the gap between them if Justin Michael wanted to unlap himself from the race leader. There's this pack of cars, Jim. Oh, it is a gaggle. And they are fighting hard back here for position.
Yeah, that's the same battle I'm focusing on as well.
It's some hot action, Jim, it must be said. And I
Yes.
mean, Michael Milfeld Jr. caught on the outside here, a Bumgarner, who sneaks up the inside.
Well, my question
that there is the hottest battle on the whole track,
is
and ultimately.
why are these other guys that pitted on 35 not coming in? You're killing your race right
I think
now.
they're hoping for a pace car, I think, Jim. But Bentley Glazer's in. He's realised the issue at hand. Same for Michael Milfeld Jr.
Yeah, I
Although
mean,
Michael has taken
the
2 stops
undercut
tonight,
is
but they're in.
massive here. Just look at the difference. Let's see what lap times Justin Michael's running right now. His last lap was a 31.25. These guys that have pitted on lap 35 who are not pitting yet are running 32.7s.
Yeah, 32.7. Well, Justin Michael is one of the 2 fastest trucks on the track right now.
Yes.
Because Jack Watts did a 31.21 the last lap by as well. He goes 31.17, Justin Michael, and he passes both Glazer and Milfeld Jr. as they exit pit road. Watts has just done a 31.46, but Justin Ritchie did a 31.16 the last time by. So Michael is one of the 2 fastest cars on the road right now. Back
And the
in
thing is, he's
P26.
still got a set of tires, right? Yeah, he's still got a set of tires if a caution comes out.
The problem is, though, he's locking himself in that he can't come in under a caution because he has to try and get his lap back.
Well, he'll get his
if-
lap
if-
back, then he comes in. That's how it works. If
Yeah,
you're the
that's
lucky
true.
dog, you get your lap back, and then you get to come in and pit. And you just go to the back of the field, but that's where he was going to be anyway. But he'll have fresh tires, and he'll be back on the lead lap.
Well, there's a lot of spreading happening out right now. Krishan Elliott in, so is Rob Haynes into pit road at this stage as well. And the big battle pack that we've been focusing on throughout this last few laps, well, that's the big one. That is the one that's really highly contested. It's probably the best contested battle on the whole road right now. With how many cars are involved, it is huge pressure for them to try and maintain position, but to perform as well, Jim, as we have got 30 laps to go here at Nashville Superspeedway for round 12 of season 5 here at the CNC Home Designs Truck Series as well. And if you've been enjoying the show tonight and you want to catch the rest of the action for the season, there's 3 regular rounds left out at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park next week, Pocono, and then Michigan as well to end out the regular season. Then the chase begins after a week's break, and we run 5 rounds of chase to crown the champion for this season, as Nathan Carroll's in pit lane as well. And you can also, by catching the action, hitting the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon too, so you're notified of that action as it comes your way. One thing I want to say is too, Jim, is it's been a great start to 2026 for us. We're 4 months in, just about.
Yeah.
We've still got some great supporters out there, including DRE Digital Race Engineer, been around since day one
That's right.
with the channel. You can find a link in the description down below to get the free version of DRE. Help support us as well when you follow that link. And Track
now
Cams
those
for Gourmets who help bring the action. They're all into pit road, though.
The lap 53
Floyd,
guys are pitting.
Yep, they're coming in.
So that tire
So
advantage
I have
was
to wonder, Jim, if either the tyre advantage is too good or they're getting to the extent of their fuel and maybe the calculations were that little bit off, possibly as well.
My calculations are good. I'm pretty sure on that.
Well, one thing I will say is
I did it 3 times, and I had my shoes and
Okay.
socks off, so I could count that high.
Very
so
good.
it was good.
very good. Well, one thing I can say as well is if you want to help support us, of course, you can also head over to the Roasted Record. Whether you're based out of Florida and you want to visit Stuart, Florida yourself, and get some brews
I'll be
and
able to
tunes.
visit
and
regularly soon.
You will. You'll become a regular, Jim.
I will.
Or if you want to order online straight to your door, you can head over to their website. Link in the description down below. Use code SIM20 at checkout to get yourself a cheeky discount. And it might help you fill your home with some wonderful artisan coffee and some great tunes as well to rock out to whilst you sip it on that morning brew of yours, thanks to the Roasted Record as well. And a big thank you to them for supporting us here at Motormouth Broadcasting as well. We've got 26 laps to go of this race, and right now it is Greg Moore in the race lead. Justin Michael has jumped those drivers who stayed out after pitting on lap 53. So he is back into it, Jim.
Yeah, but they're
After
gonna
going
come right
12
back by him again.
They will indeed, because they've got the fresher tyres on board their cars. It has spiced things up,
At this
though,
point, he
quite
needs
intensely.
a caution now, so that he can equalize things out.
Not just equalise it out. He'll trap them a lap down.
Well, no, they're not a lap down.
A lap down.
No,
they are. They're a lap down on Greg Maul.
Well, to Maul, but so is everybody. But Maul and Wagner, well, yeah. Once those two guys pit, then that will eliminate that. And there's Maul right there, and I would argue
he
Wagner
nearly
is
overshot.
now in the lead. So,
Yes, indeed.
which it looks like Justin Michael is just unlapped himself from Austin Wagner. Because he's right there.
He has indeed.
So at this point, he's going to need a caution to be a contender in this race for the win.
Because he needs the free stop to take fresh tires.
Yes, because his tires now are 20 laps.
And
older
if the other
than
guys are smart, Jim, they'll follow him in and they'll take tires as well, because it'll ruin his advantage that he would get by taking that extra set.
They don't have tires.
So, do they not? No, they don't. Okay. No, they don't.
Nope. They've taken this.
Well, then scratch that off the list.
So at this point,
needs
if
a
a
caution.
caution comes out, those guys that pitted on the same cycle as Justin Michael will have the advantage, because they will have fresh tires, and we've seen what fresh tires will do as far as rocketing you up through the field. Now, if this thing goes green to the end, which you did say was potential, and I didn't think it was, but here we are at 22 to go. If it goes green all the way, then I would argue that the guys who are pitting, now, or who have the front running guys like Dakota Floyd that just recently pitted, and Keaton Tripp, those are the guys that are going to be in contention for the win here.
Well, is it going to be a scenario?
It's exciting. I know that.
Very exciting. Very, very exciting stuff. And can we figure it out in terms of who is going to be the contenders for this race win? Is it going to be Justin Michael? Or is it Dakota Floyd's to win? Keaton Tripp has brought himself back into things from the depths of hell. It must be said, Jim.
Oh, Tripp is...
To be a contender once again.
Yeah, he's only a...
Oh, contact! Michael Mulvaney Jr.'s gone off!
Is
that going to be the caution? He's on the infield, Jim, so the yellow's not thrown. Tantalizingly close to what Justin Michael needs.
God.
And he's not going to get it. Unbelievable how quickly things can turn, and we were so close to Justin Michael getting what he needed. But Dakota Floyd, Jim, has now passed him. The fresh tires have come to play.
Oh, no, there's no doubt that Justin Michael's not even in contention for a top 10 here at this thing if you don't get a caution.
So Stove Price Jr. is now into the race lead.
Yeah, but
he needs a pit stop. So Dakota Floyd is the corrected race leader right now. Nathan Carroll battling with Scott Patton further back as well. We've got 18 laps to go. And as I said, just tantalizingly close. I mean, it was literally hanging a treat in front of a dog's face, Jim. It was drooling for it to come to shake things up. And unfortunately for Justin Michael, he hasn't gotten it. If he gets one, expect him straight into pit road. The other difficulty that may come from that is, Jim, is say everyone has pitted and we get that late race caution. Does he risk coming in and giving up track position?
100%.
Because he's going to end up further and further down the order.
It doesn't matter. He's only going to end up right now 19 spots down, because 19th is the last car on the lead lap right now. So, 100%. New tires are good for 10 spots in 3 laps.
Well, it would only gain him 2 in the grand scheme of things if he did end up back in P19 after a stop. But 17 to go here in stage 2 of
Well, I'm
this
saying
race.
worst
the final
case
stage
scenario,
as well.
if he's the only car that pits and comes out at the dead end of the lead lap, which he won't.
That's
he
very
won't
true.
Be the only one.
No, he won't.
No, he
won't be the only one that pits.
100% pits. That's the whole point of the strategy he's running is he wants that set of tires now. And I tell you what, Stove Price Jr. is going so slow right now. It is insane.
Was doing 32.33 was his last lap time. In comparison, Dakota Floyd did a 31.42. Michael is still on 31.8. So Floyd is running incredibly quick, as is Chris Howell, who's just done a 31.38. Keaton Tripp's done a 31.31.
Unlapping himself.
So Dakota Floyd has got the esteemed opportunity to get us to an eighth race winner for this season, Jim, which would mean that we'd be running at around about a 50 percentile for race winners this season. He hasn't won a race.
Wow.
He's not won a race all season. He came close. He got a podium a few times, but he's not yet won a race.
Podiums, I think, yeah.
Yes.
Wow, it's just funny how you think of guys, like in my mind, I just think of him as fast and a guy who's, one of those front guys, even though he hasn't won,
Well, Heath Smith's now into pit road. Price Jr. continues on. Motta checks in as well.
Yeah, all those guys are going to have to pit. So, and I would argue that they obviously held out as long as they could for a caution, trying. But this is where these green flag pit stops are where a caution can come out, because I'm telling you, I got interrupted or changed I got squirreled earlier. I was watching pre-race, man, getting off of the racing surface at full speed and hitting pit road. Man, those cars got horribly loose as you transition down to that asphalt. And when I saw that, I was thinking, oh man, this is going to be a disaster waiting to happen,
You're coming off a surface that can cut you up, that's slightly slick, onto a surface that's full grip. And you get onto that full grip surface that hasn't had a lot of rubber laid onto it as much as the racing surface has. And you try and put on the anchors, and the car just doesn't want to pull up because it's chewing up on the tire, but it's trying to grip up at the same time. So all of a sudden, it's like trying to go roller skating on an ice rink. Like it does not want to stop. As Keaton Tripp's trying to go for the corrected race lead here on Dakota Floyd across the tri-oval. So this is a battle for the race lead and possible race win between Floyd and Tripp. Tripp wants to be the first once again to get now a 4th win of the season. He's the first to get to 3. He was the first to become a multiple-time race winner as well. He wants to be the first to get to 4. And for Floyd, he wants to become the first or the 8th race winner of the season, putting us at a 50 percentile for race winners to races ran by season's end. If we end the season with 8, Jim, we will end the season with a 50-50 split on race winners to race starts for the season. It's incredible stuff how that can happen across 15 races for a regular season. I mean, unbelievable. But right now, I mean, Floyd and Tripp have got.
They're one
watch Howell as well.
away.
Watch Howell as well, because Howell is P3 on the road, and his tyres are 2 laps newer. As race lead taken for Dakota Floyd, who has to try and cover to Keaton Tripp and to Chris Howell, who goes to his inside. So the battle for the race lead is on, and the battle for the win is on, with 9 laps to go. And has Howell got anything in the tank to get past these 2 guys here tonight? I mean, it has to be said, what a run for Keaton Tripp. EOL penalty, up 30 positions into P2. And then Floyd, who started at the front and has had to fight tooth and nail to remain there. And Chris Howell, what a breakout performance this could be for him in the WeatherTech entry as well. As they fight down the backstretch. Race lead is on offer. Dakota Floyd on the outside, trip to the inside, and it's taking him quite a few attempts to try and lock this one down.
Well, you'll notice Floyd is pitching him down a little bit here. He's wrecking!
Howe! Trip into the wall! Howe makes contact. There's the caution. Watch for Justin Michael to come straight down pit road.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Wow.
Is there going to be enough time for Justin Michael to get back into contention if he pits for tyres now? This was the incident.
Hold on.
I'm having a look at it now, Jim. That's okay. I'm trying to watch it back, and it just looks like he's been hooked up, but I'm trying to...
I don't think he got hit.
From multiple angles.
Oh, yeah, he did. He absolutely got hooked. Yes.
Oh, yeah. No. He did. There's no way that truck spins round like that without getting hooked up.
Well, no, it could. To be honest, being that side drafty like that, it could suck him around, but that didn't happen there. That was absolutely a hook job there, right there.
So they got tight. Tripp tried squeezing him up. Howe went for the move, and then there's a bit of net code in there as well, Jim. It must be said there is that little bit of net code between them, but still.
Was it?
That's a big incident. Yeah, there was. It's very minute, but there was definitely net code involved. There was a gap between them. Glazer and Michael are into pit lane, and they're currently the only two, apart from Zach Groover, who've come in, but Krishan Elliott, Lehman, Watts, Richie have all followed them in as well. Laverne's in. Milfeld Jr.'s in. So's Cook and Haynes. Bumgarner in as well.
Yeah, they're... So, let's see. It was Christopher Howell, and we're going to go to his nose cam. And I don't think that there was net code there myself, but... No.
No. If you look overhead, Jim... Because you're not going to see it off the nose. No. I know he did, but you need to look at it overhead because the nose is not going to show you because it's directly on the front bumper to the left-hand side of the front bumper where the net code is. You can't see it from the bonnet. You have to look at it from the chopper, and it will show it'll show the net code.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I did not see that at all.
Slow it down.
Right there.
Yeah, there's gap. Look at the gap.
No, he's all over him.
I know he's all over him, but you need to look at the gap on the side of the car. There's a slight bit of gap. It's minute. I'm saying that contact would happen no matter what.
But either way, that was a dangerous spot.
Contact's going to happen no matter what. It was very, very dangerous. Yes. Contact's going to happen no matter what. I'm just saying that there was a bit of net code, but still, it was a big one.
Justin Michael? He is him
P18, and he's come out behind Bentley Glazer.
So Lehman had tires left. Justin, well, some of those guys, no, I guess all the guys that pitted there had tires left. So
Michael is P18, Glazer's P17. But the crucial point of the matter is, I don't think there's going to be enough laps for them to make up a race-winning run.
Maybe not.
And the wind's gone.
Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see.
If there's a caution,
well,
then
that's
possibly.
The thing. Green, white checker, they make up 5 or 6 spots, caution, and then next thing you know, then now it's, arguable. But either way,
Dakota Floyd, Chris Howe,
that's what they needed because they're going to finish better now than they were going to finish.
Well, Dakota Floyd, Chris Howe, top 2 for the restart. Maul, Patton, Carroll, Walker, Fracker, Stewart, Wagner, and Hollingsworth is the top 10 for this restart. We're going to have 4 laps to go in the Maximum Velocity Racing League CNC Home Designs Truck Series. As pace trucks in, to the restart zone we go. Nashville, what more can you offer us in the final run home? 4 laps left, green flag runs, and Dakota Floyd has absolutely launched it off of the restart in the race lead. Mole's done well to get up to P2 as well. And let's try and keep an eye on this absolute gaggle of cars in behind them. As this car's wrecking in behind, Bentley Glazer's gone off. There's the caution. Green-white check at attempt number 1 is about to happen.
Yep.
And this is going to lead us to
where did that
overtime.
So Lehman and Michael only moved up 2 spots.
They gained 1. Yeah, well,
think.
Michael only gained 1.
I thought he was.
So this was the
19th.
moment. No, he was 18th. So Bentley Glazer, who was actually ahead of Michael, fighting away here. Watch for Keaton Tripp as well. He's involved in this. So Glazer's on that inside. They're staggered 4 wide. The 77 makes contact with Glazer, spins him round, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yep. Well, that's a couple of good trucks right there involved in that too.
So Michael and Lehman, P16 and 17 now at this point.
Yep. And who is your
Nathan
corrected
Carroll is
tire?
back up
So
to
Lehman
P3,
is,
by the way.
No. Kerry Cleaver is the lead truck with the fresh tires.
No, he put it on lap 83. It is Lehman.
Oh, it is Lehman. Okay.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
I can't read across. It's hard for me to read. Just in general, it's hard for me to read. But
So, by the way, Nathan Carroll is back up to 3rd place, Jim, after that
yeah,
that incident earlier in the race that we spoke
well,
about.
I'll tell you what. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that now.
No, next pressure's on him.
Yeah,
at the
I'm
end
not
of
going to
this
pull
race.
him in here and neg him out right before the. Yeah, at this point, it is too late. I think. I think
the
that those
run's
guys
been left too late for
I
them.
think those guys needed another 2 laps of green flag before that caution came out for it to pay off for them. I mean, they're still going to make up some spots here, but
the race winning strategy they tried to play though is not going to come true for them unless the cars ahead of them all wreck. It's not going to happen.
Well, unless we get a couple of green white checkers or whatever, but so we shall see.
But this is helping those cars that pitted earlier in the race because
sure.
they're able to keep the wear down on the tires. Now, yes, we're going to go overtime off this restart because we're already at lap 112. This is now 113. So we're going to go 3 laps extra to the end, Jim.
Yeah, well, they're on lap 112 right now. So they'll go back green at 113.
No. They've just completed lap 112. They're on lap 113.
You're right.
So they're going to have the green
or math, either one.
They're gonna have the green and then the white. So we're gonna have 2 laps extra of this race at the bare minimum.
Yes.
Maximum, well, we could be here all evening because there's unlimited green white checkered attempts. So we could be here for a while.
I think that this right here needs to be paid off in some way, and I'm going to do it real quick. This absolutely needs to be paid off right here. Look at this.
What a run for TJ Lee Jr. Up to 9th, started 36th.
27 spots. What
a fantastic
phenomenal
race.
Run by this guy.
And you know what, Jim? We haven't focused on him because he's kept himself out of trouble.
That's right.
And he's been nice and tidy. And it's a great result for TJ Lee Jr. if he can pay this off. Green white checkered attempt number 1 about to come your way for lap 114. As Dakota Floyd gets his green flag running once again. It's 2 to go here at Nashville.
Floyd's back out to a nice jump there with Maul on the outside. Nathan Carroll down on the inside there.
Back here, Jim. 3 wide action down the back stretch as well. This is where it can get hairy for them. They're staggered 4 wide. Staggered 4 wide, but if we make the line, we're not going to get a caution. To the white flag we go. 1 to go at Nashville. And they're wrecking on the line, Jim, but it doesn't matter. We can't get a caution. There's multiple cars that have been involved, including Krishan Elliott, Justin Ritchie, Keaton Tripp. Multiple cars, but we're going to get to the race end.
We're going to add another one to the multiple winners list here.
As we come round.
Oh, look at this.
No matter who wins out of this top 3, we're going to get an 8th different winner. But it's going to be Dakota Floyd who goes back-to-back at Nashville and is the king of Music City, USA. As wrecking on the line is James Lehman and co. Maul in P3, P2, Carroll on the podium as well. Smith, Wagner, the top 5. Howell, Justin Michael, Josh Fracker, James Lehman, Scott Patton, and TJ Lee Jr. finishes it out in P11 after we focused on him at the end there to show off
let's see
his
what,
run home.
Just real quick, let's see what happened on this incident here. Bentley Glazer again. Oh, was it?
So that was what brought out. That was the one that brought out the.
Oh, that was the previous one.
That was one that brought out the green, white, checkered.
Well, where's the?
Oh, we're getting a celebration here, Jim. So we should be showing off a celebration at the same time. I've got it on my screen if you want to show it off while we run through this.
Oh, yeah.
For Dakota Floyd, he's getting his burnout happening here on the main stretch, and he's going to do the backwards lap of honor as well.
The Polish victory lap.
Yes.
All right, so while you show that, I'm going to pull this late race crash up in my little window here.
It was a big one. It was huge. Flying trucks.
Yeah, who was that one truck that was flying there? That's the one I want to know about.
That looked like, was that the 199 possibly? Who was flying through the air then?
Maybe. No.
Well, it was a solid race to the very end, and good points on the board for those that needed it in fighting for a position in the chase. I mean, look at that. Unbelievable.
2-something.
That's not the 2-3. That's not the car that flipped him. It was the car on the inside of him.
No,
it was that one right there.
Yeah, the one I got, the 200. Tommy Cook.
The 200. Okay,
right,
yeah.
well,
I was one number away.
You know what's coming, folks, now that the celebration is over. We got to get this one in before the, let's see. So that was Tommy Cook, right? Yes. Let's do this.
I mean, it was a wild ride. A wild ride for Tommy Cook on the outside. Whoop! You know what? That was a pretty good rail slide from him there, Jim.
That was,
at least worth a couple of points on Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I was going to say, Tony Hawk would be proud of that right there.
He would. There was a little bit of a 90.
Won't get all choked up. It's okay.
A 90-degree McTwist for him, it must be said. But we'll start our conversations here tonight with P3 on the road in Nathan Carroll.
Why don't we go through the results first?
Let's go through the results first, of course.
Then we'll do that.
The results for this race, of course. Race winner tonight, Dakota Floyd, ahead of Greg Maul and Nathan Carroll on the podium here tonight as well. Most positions gained, TJ Lee Jr. up 25 spots. Floyd actually led the most laps tonight, 55 laps in the end for him. He had the fastest lap of the race as well with Nathan Carroll, who started on pole position, continues into P3 after an EOL penalty at the start of the race as well. Heath Smith, Austin Wagner, Chris Howe, Justin Michael, Josh Fracker, Scott Patton and James Lehman in his final run for 2026 in the series. He'll finish inside of the top 10 as well. 115 laps ran, Jim, with a little bit of overtime involved. 5 cautions, of course. We had 8 green flag lead changes.
Indeed,
The first one that we're going to chat to tonight, P3 on the road, in Nathan Carroll, who's on the podium once again. Nathan, welcome in. P3 in the end. After qualifying on pole, starting from the back for your EOL penalty. Now, we had a little bit of a weird one that we wanted to question you about earlier in the race. We didn't really get an opportunity to. There was a moment where you got dumped through turn 2, and then as you rejoined the track, there was a car that was an innocent party in it all. And as you come up to him, it almost looked like your car kind of turned across into him and then spun him around off the track. What happened there with Charles Woods on the back stretch?
Yeah, first things first, I wanted to open the interview with that apology. That was probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. It was completely unintentional, and I was rejoining the track, and I don't remember my spotter saying anything about anybody being to my outside, but even then, I just turned hard right and totally ruined his race. So that's unacceptable, and I see it on the replay right now. I'm looking at it on your guys' stream here. Yeah, I just had no idea. I was, I'm not going to lie, I was incredibly frustrated. I had just
I'm sure.
came all the way from the. First of all, I won the pole.
Yes.
And of course, you win the pole, and I got my first. It's my first pole in a year, and then it's also my first EOL in a year. So it's funny how that works. So got to start from the rear now, but I knew I was quick, and worked through all those cars, and just got flat out trashed by the 199,
Yes.
who was sliding his right
Yes.
front up into every corner, and he was. So yeah, he tried to do it again. He tried to dive bomb in there, and there was nowhere to go, so he just took me out. But that's fine. Still beat him and all the other people I had an issue with. But yeah, I might have to sit next week out because we hand out penalties for really stupid moves like that on the backstretch, the one I made. So just want to extend my apologies because it was not intentional by any means.
Well,
we know, Nathan.
Go ahead.
That,
Go ahead.
I was gonna make a point here. Now, Nathan, we know that you're obviously one of the admin moderator team. We mentioned earlier, obviously, that this was James's final race tonight for the year. Now, with him obviously leaving to go do his military duty, is that going to open up a spot for someone else to get into the chase at the end of the season, knowing that he actually can't be there?
I'd have to look at it. I think there's James is close to the point lead. So let's say, between Keaton and the 17th place driver, there's about 200 points. James might be 50 of that back. So with 4 races to go, let's see, 13, 14, 15, 3 races to go.
So you will not remove him?
Well, I mean, that's not my call, but I think if James can't run the rest of the season, then we've had it before where there's an exemption. He's just going to sit it out, and even if he is ahead of 17th in points, they'll put somebody else deserving in there. He's not just going to waste a spot,
right? Yeah.
But that's again, I mean, it's his deal, and I'm just I don't call shots like that. So
well, it won't be long, and you potentially will be calling him if need be. But
not if I'm wrecking people under yellow like that.
Well, that just gives you more time to call him. Well, and to be honest, man, I wanted to pull you in during the race, but we never got the opportunity because of that long green flag run. Because it honestly looked like you were paying the guy back, and
oh no.
So my question was, did you think that he was the guy that wrecked you, and ultimately?
No, I knew it was the guy just throwing it into the corner lap after lap, trying to hang on for dear life. I could see the 199. Rob Haynes.
No,
got his number.
It was absolutely the 199 for sure, and we showed it multiple angles. I mean, it was, we looked at it several times. It was, yeah. I mean, he ran over you for sure.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure he'll probably be getting one of those little penalty envelopes as well. So, but look, man, overall a good run for you tonight. Pretty horrible that your EOL came on your pole night and a night that you literally had a truck that could win this race. Because those opportunities are hard to come by. We've talked about that before when we've had you in here, to essentially, you worked your way back up twice through the field. Now, some pit strategy, helped there at the end. You pitted at the right time, whereas like Michael and them didn't, and ultimately that kind of messed them up. But look, good run though, good points run for you. Even if you're forced to sit out a week, if that's what it comes down to, you're gonna make the chase, I would say, and at this point, and you've gotten stronger and stronger, and I think you got a really good shot, going into this chase. Your truck has been fast, and it's, short of that one little mistake tonight, that one. Oh, by the way, there's your spin.
Yeah, I see it.
Yep. You've cut down on the mistakes as the year has gone on, and so I think that bodes well for you in the chase, so.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. And I'm glad you didn't pull me in for the mid-race interview because it would have been profanity-laced. I drove a little irresponsibly.
We weren't going to do it. Well, we didn't do it then. We were going to wait till the next caution and do it. And mainly because it just looked like it was a payback, just because it was just like you said, kind of egregious, that it just was oh, wow.
And I wish the best wishes to James as he departs for a little bit. There's a lot going on in the world, and
Yes.
it's a scary time to leave. And him and
It
I have
is.
gotten a little closer. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff, but he's trusted me with a lot of things in his league, and I appreciate that. But I feel like, with all due respect, he put me in a really bad spot on a restart last week, put me 3 wide and hit me in the back, and truck was out of control. I slid up into Dakota, and that's the whole reason I got the EOL. So we were racing side by side for a minute, and I was dooring the heck out of him, and I was just so upset, so furious with the race. And I'll race hard, I'll door somebody, but it's never my intention to just completely take somebody out of the race. So
Yeah, no.
you'll never see that from me ever in the future.
Well, and that was, and like well, we won't get into that, but I certainly can, you can hear the sincerity in your voice there. If so that's neither here, but you're in good shape going into the playoffs, and I like where you're at relative to your, the speed your truck has and the mistakes that you've eliminated. I think you're in
Jim, I'm getting there, man. It's one thing after another. Like last, it's just I got to clean up a couple things, but I hope I win this season. But the stars got to align for anybody,
Sure.
Even guys like Keaton Tripp, and so some nights the stars might align for me, and I just don't do my job.
Well, that's the thing. You got to eliminate the mistakes on those nights, and that's how it goes. Look at Keaton tonight. Started
Absolutely.
at the back. I don't understand why he didn't qualify, because you had a huge advantage with your pit box, and in the end
100%.
tonight, that pit box made you probably 4 or 5 spots on track at least.
Yeah, there's a couple times. Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know why those guys didn't go ahead and qualify to get the good pit boxes, because a lot of them, James and Keaton, there was a lot of good cars there that would have qualified and got good pit spots. And, ultimately that does make a difference. And I like what you did there. And I think in the end, it certainly helped you recover from these incidents,
I agree.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations again, and you go ahead and if you got any shout-outs you want to do, and we'll move on.
Yeah, just the usual. My mom and dad watching, and my wife Danielle. She's number one most important thing in the world.
Smart man.
She's in the living room with 2 of my best friends, Luca and Angela. They come over every week and watch the race on the big screen with me, or with my wife. So really appreciate that. And
Danielle
Zach
is your
Magris.
wife?
Danielle is my wife, yes.
Does she
Could you tell?
Well, did you see what she said in comments?
No, I wait the next day and I pull it up and read that, but I'm sure I'll walk out of my racing room and she's going to show me.
So she said throwing shade at the league owner is crazy.
Well, me or you?
No, you. I'm sure she's talking about.
Oh no, I know what I'm going up against. Like it's.
I mean, I don't
It's-
think she's talking about me. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm
but
sure.
yeah, those are the people.
I love her. I like her. I love that. I love that she commented that. That's awesome. All right, buddy. Yeah. Hey, congratulations again, and we'll talk to you next week, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Well, come
Thanks,
visit
guys.
us
Have a good
before
night.
the race either way, because now that's what you got to do.
Yeah, if I'm suspended, I'll hop in the booth with you for a few
Yeah,
laps. How
do
about
that. Absolutely do
I'd
that.
love
No,
to.
seriously. If it comes down to that, come join us. Seriously.
I'll reach out to you for sure, Jim.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right, man.
All right. Good night.
Sorry,
Next
I
up,
dropped
we
that out
have
of it.
our. That's okay. Next up, we have our P2 finish here tonight in Greg Mall. Greg bringing the pride of Ford Motor Company back to prosperity again, getting it on the podium tonight. And the only problem is, it's not in the shitty coolers entry, Greg.
No, I know, right?
Yeah, it's a crying shame, isn't it, boys?
So,
Yeah.
did you get rid of the shitty coolers because we focused on it so much?
No, I think we got something in store. I'll just leave it at that
Okay,
for
all right.
chase time. So
No, that's
Is
fine. I
it
just
some-
I just
is
wanted
it
to make sure that we
something?
didn't harp on it so much that you're like, look, I don't want to be known for the shitty cooler guy. You know what I mean? Like,
nah. I can't be the shitty cooler salesman. No, it's all good though. No, we got we usually try to keep that in stock for when chase time comes around. So try
I
and
was going to
cycle some
say,
old paints.
is it going to be something shitty at the chase?
One could
Possibly.
say. One could say. Yeah.
Oh,
We'll leave it at that, Amish.
okay, very good. Well, I mean, Greg, a great race for yourself tonight. Though. I mean, up 7 into P2, obviously, a podium finish for yourself, bringing the pride of Ford Motor Company back to the podium once again. I mean, you've been the top-seeded Ford driver for the last few weeks now. After it's really become the Chevrolet uh, Truck Series, really. Um, what? How have you been feeling over the last few weeks? I mean, a good performance here tonight. Does this reinvigorate you a little bit now? Give you a little bit of a boost of confidence going into the final 3 rounds of the regular season before the chase begins?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good confidence boost, especially trying to get some momentum before chase time gets started. Looking at the schedule coming up when chase time gets started, I think it's going to be a coin flip on a few tracks, and
Sure.
I think it's ultimately going to be a situation where uh, it's just going to be a battle, just to say the absolute least. I mean, Talladega, Darlington, absolutely. Richmond can definitely get a little hairy. Wilkesboro certainly can't count that out. So I think it's definitely going to be
it's gonna be fun.
an interesting
actually.
situation.
That's a great group
Absolutely.
of tracks, man. You just rattling them off there, and I'm like, God, they're all gonna be great.
It's definitely going to be interesting, and a five race dash as far as trying to get the chip there at the end of the race at Auto Club is definitely going to be a fight. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one.
Give me just a brief history of you here in this league. You got any wins? Obviously, since we've been here this year, you haven't won a race. But do you have wins in this league? If not, do you have several podiums? Is this your first podium? Kind of give us a little bit of background that we maybe don't know.
Well, I think I got a handful of podiums at least. Most of my wins have come from Martinsville, Martinsville CEO. I mean, I think that's kind of the self-anointed nickname that I kind of gave myself there. Once Dakota and some of those guys came into the league, it's been a little bit more of a fight. But yeah, I think we've definitely haven't been one to be away from the podium. This season's been a little bit of a slow start. Just dealing with some car counts and things like that, trying to knife through the field, and definitely learned some things to say the absolute least. And I think it's just been a battle of iteration as far as this season goes, as far as trying to learn when to pounce, when to kind of bide our time. And I think it's definitely been a good trajectory going forward.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Again, we don't have the background, for me to get all excited that you got a podium and and you've got several wins. You know what I mean? Like that. I just kind of wanted to know a little bit of your history here. So that I just kind of know what this means to you. I'm sure you're plenty satisfied that you pulled this off tonight, given. Like you said, it's been a bit of a tough year. You've had some good runs. A lot of them didn't maybe end up quite as good as the run itself went. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely a few tracks where it's just I feel like we had a good grasp on what we wanted to do on strategy, and it just hasn't panned out our way, regardless of what might have caused the unfavorable turnout, whatever the case might be. But tonight was definitely a good showing, I think. Trying to deal with dirty air, trying to deal with traffic the best we could, trying to be efficient with that. So I think Nashville's definitely not been a track that I've been super competitive on. And so to get second coming out of here, I think is definitely a great confidence boost for sure.
Awesome. Hamish, I'm sure you got something else for him.
I mean, a great race and a great run thus far this year, Greg. So, I mean, good to see you get a podium so late in the season. I hope you can take this as a run of form going into the next few weeks and maybe try and maximize next week at LOR and see if you can get another podium for yourself. So, and hey, who knows, maybe you'll be our ninth race winner before the regular season is out. But is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, Greg, before we let you go this evening?
Well, of course, you can't go without saying the guys down in Bandits. Justin was trying to play strategy there. Scoot and I were kind of battling pretty much all night. Rob and Steve were kind of right there in the conversation pretty much all night. So it's good to see Bandits have a good showing for sure, all across the board for the most part. Got to give a shout out to all the friends and family that are back home watching on Twitch. I've been kind of away from home during the day, so it's been good to hang out with my woman and the little one upstairs. So, and you guys up in Motormouth, I mean, you guys are putting on a good show. So, definitely looking forward to IRP next week. We got Pocono, Michigan. I mean, I think we got a good stack coming up here. So, looking forward to it.
Hey, speaking of Twitch, I'm assuming that you stream the broadcast as well yourself.
Oh yeah, post race. I mean, we would definitely do take a look at it. But
no,
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
do you stream during do you stream your own feed during the race?
Yeah, I do on Twitch.
So
yeah,
all of your Twitch people that watch during the race, do us a favor. I don't focus on Twitch for the most part. You know, I concentrate on YouTube, you know, and stuff. But I would love to have some more followers on Twitch that support the channel. Just to help the algorithm and get our rate, because we broadcast every race on Twitch. I just don't focus on it, don't ever talk about it. But if you got some people that are Twitch regulars, if they could jump over and follow the channel, that's going to help get the race to pop up in more people's algorithm and get more people to see this great racing action. That would be wonderful. And anybody else out there that is not necessarily a Greg Mall follower, if you could do the same, it sure would be appreciated. Like I said, most people watch on YouTube, but if we could get more people, get this in front of more people on Twitch and stuff, that would be a huge help as well.
absolutely. Yeah, Twitch, my Twitch channel. Anyways, I don't know if you guys are Motormouth on Twitch or what your guys' handle is. But
Motormouth Broadcasting. Yeah, Motormouth_broadcasting, I believe it is. So yeah,
absolutely.
And if you give us a follow, I'll return the favor as well. But yeah. So anyway, congratulations again, buddy. Great run. Good to see you up here. Been really wanting to talk to you all year. You know, we've had a lot of fun with you this year, obviously, with you and at your expense a little bit. But like they say, any attention's good attention, and you certainly got plenty this year. And it's nice to see you get this podium. So, and we look forward to talking to you again, hopefully before the chase and definitely during the chase.
Absolutely, Jim. Don't be shy. I mean, don't be afraid to pull this guy up here and give you guys talking to mid race.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate that. I hesitate to do that because it depends on my mood. If you caught me at the wrong time and did that to me, I probably wouldn't enjoy it. And but I appreciate that, and I would love to do that. It's always great to have drivers' insight of how the track's driving and all those things. So sure, love that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, finally here this evening, we have now an 8th different race winner. We're on 50% this season. If we went to season's end with 8, 50% of the races would be won by only 8 people on the grid. It is Dakota Floyd. Dakota, welcome in. Finally, that top step of the podium gets your name on it, and it's 2 in a row here at Nashville for yourself. Congratulations. What a race win. And what a performance from yourself as well. A great run home and some solid points on the board, and you've now set yourself up well with some good momentum with 3 rounds to go before the chase begins. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It feels good to go 2 in a row at Nashville, especially with how much I love this racetrack.
Yeah, that's clearly you love this place because you won here last year, and we pointed that out early in the broadcast. And and obviously we've talked to you earlier this season, and this from what you told us, this wouldn't seem to be a track that fits your profile, but apparently it does, which is cool. But my question is, how was that last couple of lap battle there? Late in the race with Keaton Tripp, you guys were side by side there, hard at I guess it was right before right there towards the end of the race at in the lap 105, 106 area. I think you guys went side by side for a couple of laps, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it was phenomenal racing. Anytime you can go door to door at Nashville for multiple laps and have multiple cars involved, it's always a good time. Especially with how much this track can be a one-lane track. So when you can see both lanes work, it makes a lot of fun. I always love racing Keaton. We've raced together for numerous years now. He's always been lights out fast, so it feels good. It feels good to be able to compete with him, finally. So, but yeah, I mean, it was just a ton of fun. I really wish we could have seen that thing out to the end. I
Yeah.
might not have gotten the win, because I mean, those guys were showing a lot of pace there, and my tires, I think, were the oldest of the. Well, me and Keaton, I think we pit the same lap, so it would have been interesting to see how we finished that race out. But nonetheless, I'm just happy to where it ended up for me.
Yeah. Well, my question is, do you think? I mean, you were clearly on the outside there for that side by side battle. That was obviously going to take a toll on you more so than him in the long run, I think. So, wouldn't you say that it's tougher to stay on that outside line there?
I definitely think so, but I think it's a little easier at the point in the race we were, because that bottom line had a lot of heat build up into it, and there was a lot of rubber down there. So I think it was definitely getting a little tighter down there, and the run you get on the outside, it's easier to defend. So I think
you were definitely pinching him
outside,
down for sure. Where earlier in the race you were given a lot of space in that situation, but you definitely had him squeezed down there a little bit for sure.
Yeah, I think you really had to, because you had to chop his run off the corner, and like I said, I've been racing with him for a while, so I know I could trust each one of us to race each other clean, be really close to each other, and keep it clean. So, but yeah, I think that's just what I had to do to keep.
No, absolutely, yeah, that's good, smart racing. Hamish, I'm sure you've got a question or two.
Well, Dakota, I mean, you've driven very well this season. You finally got this race win on the board. Do you think you can carry this momentum in the next few rounds? I mean, are you confident in these final 3 rounds that you may be able to just sneak your way into a multiple win position for this season as well?
We'll see. I'm not the greatest at IRP. I've never really had any good historic finishes there. I think I finished second last season, but there's some guys in this league that are super lights out at these flat tracks. So, I think I could have good finishes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put the wins together. So there's a lot of these guys that are fast at these different tracks. So I'm just going to look to keep putting the points together and just look to go into the playoffs in a really confident place, and hopefully put the really good finishes together, maybe pull another championship.
We'll see if you can do it going into the chase. We wish you the best of luck in the final 3 rounds of the regular season. And if we don't get a chance to speak to you, we wish you luck in the chase as well. Dakota Floyd, our race winner here tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful
Thanks
night.
so much.
Yep, you too, man.
Well, Jim, that'll bring an end to our show this evening. And
Sweet.
we have set up for what is bound to be an all-time final 3 rounds of this regular season. Indianapolis Raceway Park next week for round 13, Pocono the week after, and Michigan International Speedway the week after as well. It is going to be a mega final 3 rounds before the chase begins in a few weeks' time. We appreciate everybody helping support us here on Motormouth Broadcasting with Maximum Velocity Racing League's CNC Home Designs Truck Series. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the like button, to subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing right here on the channel. We've got plenty of action to come your way throughout the rest of Season 2 of 2026 of iRacing, and as well into the future. And we want to give a shout out, of course, to our stream sponsors, DRE Digital Race Engineer, Track Camps for Gourmets, and The Roasted Record, based out of Stuart, Florida as well. If you're ordering online, use code SIM20 to get yourself 20% off your order with those guys as well. For myself, I'm Sean and Jim Cunningham. This has been round 12 of Season 5 of the Maximum Velocity Racing League CNC Home Designs Truck Series, live from Nashville Speedway. We'll see you guys next week out at IRP. But until then, thank you so much for joining us here on Motormouth Broadcasting, where legends are created one corner at a time.